Wealth, ensconced in the church by its faithful, was well known throughout the empire. But even more famous was its pastor, the Bishop Nicholas, the only son of a fabulously wealthy lord. He renounced his wealth as a youth and bequeathed his inheritance to the church. Throughout his life, he was especially kind to widows and orphans, and was known to drop gold coins through the windows of poor young maidens' homes so they might have a dowry. Gregarious and kind, he patiently listened to the suffering and strife of his flock, helping whenever he could. One morning, when the sun shone brightly through the windows on the gold-encrusted altar decorations, a great multitude had gathered to pray. In spite of the brightness of the day, the people were sad and worried, for a great famine was upon the land. There had been no wheat harvest, and the city's rulers had long since sent for ships of grain from a foreign land, and none had arrived. The lookouts on the battlements gazed toward the sea for signs of the grain ships. Among them were children. They too were hungry. The lookouts strained their eyes at the horizon. Specks appeared, then grew larger and larger. Soon they shouted for joy, "Ships! The grain ships are coming!" Everyone was wild with joy, and the children jumped up and down. Skiffs were lowered from the ships and were being rowed toward the shore. At the same time, the small boats from shore had been dispatched to meet them. Upon meeting them, they discovered the boats were manned by pirates. Alas, what to do? The people were shocked and stricken with fear. There was no money left for ransom in hopes of getting the grain, as the people had already paid dearly for the meager food they had been able to buy. The people turned to look for their pastor, Bishop Nicholas, but he was nowhere to be found. The mothers pleaded with the pirates, weeping and begging to have mercy for the sake of the famished children. Seeing the beautiful children of Myra and realizing there was no gold, the pirates snatched the children, knowing they could get a good price for them, selling them into slavery. The people of Myra were horrified. Again, they sought their leader, Bishop Nicholas. He was suddenly in their midst, carrying an enormous bag with the help of his servant, Krampus. He approached the pirates and said, "Release those children. In this bag is enough in exchange for them and the grain." He opened the bag, and in it were the church treasures, gold and precious gems, all the wealth accumulated over the years. Upon seeing the glistening treasure, the pirates released the terrified children and took the bag filled with treasures. Once they rowed out to sea, the grain ships were released, and the people of Myra again had food for their tables. Bishop Nicholas had saved them. Many centuries have passed, and Saint Nicholas remains beloved by children all over Europe, Asia, and Russia. His feast day is celebrated on December 6th, with many wonderful customs practiced far and wide. Special honor is paid to those named Nicholas on the feast of Saint Nicholas. The Bishop of Myra, Saint Nicholas, in red robes and mitre, who lived with kindness and especially loved children many centuries ago, will be celebrated evermore.